Hello, everybody, and welcome to Day Job. I am your somewhat invisible host, Code Marvelous, because I'm wearing a light blue shirt. And today we're going to be testing out some various decks to see if I can pick my deck for regionals. So let's go ahead and I guess we gotta try to rush out. And see if we can get the first Atlas. See if the luck of the Leela gets us. Let's see if we can get another counter here. Going hard. Let's see what they do here. I mean, this is Titan versus Leela, so we're gonna have a pretty bad time. Like, Leela's always a huge problem, right? One of my metamates mentioned Titan, but I think that Titan is a little fragile, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. I don't know what we're gonna do here. Let's draw. Let's get a border control and R&D, I guess. Okay, so we have what we need. Except for we don't have an Atlas. If I put this reconstruction contract into the remote, we're 100% gonna lose it. Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. This is one of the things that I don't like about Titan, is a lot of times if you don't draw the agendas in the right order, you just can't really win. I guess next turn I can try to fast advance out of 5-3. But we're probably gonna lose. I think Leela's very bad for business. For Titan and Leela's extremely popular right now. And another GFI is drawn. Like we're just gonna lose because we're drawing nothing but agendas that we can't score. This is why I often don't like playing. Yep, their wins in the bin, so they got a good game. I don't know. I don't like Titan in the current metagame. I think it's super duper fragile. And when you draw the nuts, you're gonna win every single game. But if you don't, then the deck just falls apart. And there's too many ways for criminals, especially, to disrupt you in the current metagame. Does anybody have any Wayland decks that they've been finding to do consistently well, besides the ones that are published from Euros and being played and countered by everybody? Come on, Boulder. You can sit up here. So the other deck that I'm looking at is a sports metal deck. This is a pretty good opener. I'd like to start with a Jinja in the opening hand, but I'll take a Scarcity. Oh, Boulder. Ooh, we're gonna get all our money. Everybody's broke. Right, Boulder? Alright, we lose the SSL here, which is going to give us some drip. Alright, let's put this on R&D. Let's put this in the remote. And then let's fire away. Get the Surveyor on there. So now we have two different types of ice on the remote. Hopefully they'll hit the domestic sleepers here. Alright, so let's also put a Ginger Grid on R&D. Let's put a Cider Adaptive Barrier on there for safety. And then let's hit Violet level, and let's put the other Surveyor on R&D, and then let's put the Architect on R&D. Now the deck's actually going, it's working, and we're, armoring up our servers clicklessly while our opponent's economy is still slowing down. So yeah. Bonner. So we've got the Ash in there now. We're going to use this Rashida. Hopefully we'll get a couple more ice. We don't. But we do get a Hyperloop. And various big money. So let's see if we can push here while their economy is still bad. And get on the board a little more. And we can start using the sports metal ability to draw into the things we need. Next turn, we're gonna jam the SSL. Now they have a 1 in 5 here, so hopefully they won't luck sack into the other agenda. Probably come back again while they have the increased power from Gauss. Down to no money. All right. Let's go ahead and jam. So the big reason to play a Jinja deck, right, is because of all the clickless actions that you get. Because we're adding ice and staying tempo positive while also jamming agendas. And sports metal at the very least can give us a refund on the scoring that we're doing. That Hagen will probably be the last one that we put on the remote for a while. We're good on money, so I'm just going to keep drawing, because drawing into the last agenda while they're still weak is the game, right? Next ice we get is going to go on R&D. I think we can afford to try to force them through. So let's go ahead and put a Fairchild 3 on R&D. Let's put a Fairchild 3 on R&D. And then let's put a Gatekeeper on the remote. And that seems pretty good. Potter, stop! Stop pulling the wires out of my computer. So right now, this is my favorite non-Wayland corp that I'm playing. Okay, so I'm actually willing to overwrite the Hyperloop here to try to jam. Because if we can score this SSL here, we just win. So that's better than scoring a Hyperloop. This Surveyor is looming very large. We're tearing up their creds. This is the age of high roll Netrunner, that's right. So we have a 10 strength Surveyor. I don't know why this is locked at 6 strength. So this is every penny they have. So I think here we are just going to res the Ash, which they can't trash. And then we don't even have to use the border control. And that server's basically dead to them. They got no money, so over here, a Fairchild 3 res or a Surveyor res handles it. They're going to even give us some additional cash here by running archives. There's no agendas in HQ for them to steal. I don't know why you're running archives again. Oh, the crowdfundings. That Glacier. What is everybody finding that they're enjoying on Corp side? So what are people working on? Tell me your secrets, my friends. Tell me. Miramore for 3. Hang on. Somebody needs my authenticator. Alright. This seems fine. Yeah, we'll keep this. Come on. Okay, I don't know. Alright, so Hot Pursuit's coming in hot. Having a computer issue. We want to hang on to that one for the remote. In the meantime, I should probably be getting this scarcity down, right? New remote. Put that in there. We'll get the scarcity down. Alright, I like getting the Polongi use out of the way there. Alright, so now we got the money. So I wonder if they'll take the ginger grid here. They should. So there's no more Polongi left, and there's no cash. So I think we try to jam an Ikawa there. Okay, so they're gonna spend more Palangi, more money, and they're not gonna be able to seal this, so that's very good. We're gonna be tempo positive on this. Not tempo positive, but more tempo positive than we would be otherwise. Pretty important, but we're not having exactly what I would call an ideal open here. So we're just making it work. The biggest thing is that their board state isn't really... the biggest thing is we're, like, they're not set up, right? That's going to change now that they have the DJ, which they hard paid for, but there's still no Netmerkur. So their ability to impact us is actually pretty limited, right? Once we get this border control on the remote, we should be ready to jam the next agenda. Alright, so let's put that on the remote. Let's put that in the remote, and then let's roll them bones. The big thing is these domestic sleepers are tempo positive for us. Set an alarm for 9:30 a.m. tomorrow.
I can't set an alarm for more than one day ahead. Would you like a reminder instead? Okay, I'll remind you.
Alright, so let's go ahead and advance, and score. Let's get 2 cards. We'll take the Hagen, and then let's put the Hyperloop in the new remote. I do appreciate the degree to which this Alright, so I'm hoping that we can, on this Hyperloop, well, we can ditch that. So they're getting to the point where they're starting to stabilize a little bit. So what we really need right now is we need a little bit more money, which we've got, and I'd like to draw into an Ash. This scarcity, though. Scarcity versus Shaper will just win you the game. Yeah, Josiah, your things got blocked because I have things set up in place because of the type of chat environment that I'm going to try to create. That unless I've okayed the term, people can't talk about like severe mental illness things and things like that. For exactly that kind of thing, where people are kind of referencing it in jest. After this, I have to take just a couple minutes off because I have to reply to an email. But I'll just put up the wait thing and then I'll be back. Because these hot pursuits aren't doing them like a ton of favors, right? They have they have nothing going on. Okay. So I think we can afford to jam just with what we have because of what is currently visible. And if we get burned, we get burned, right? But fortune favors the bold. Now, the worst case scenario is that our opponent puts down a Corroder. If they put down a Corroder, we're in pretty bad shape. But if they don't put down a Corroder, we can use the border control and the Cider adaptive barrier, and they only get one run. We end the run with border control, and then they can't get back in. And they can only change one of them, so they can't even get in the first place. Now, right. Now, they do have a chance to strike on R&D, but it'll only be for one agenda, so I guess they're not going to take it. And they're just going to let us have it. And that, my friends, is the game. Uncontested 7-0. Good game, well played. Alright. I just have to take a brief intermission. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Alright, we are back. This seems pretty okay. We got money. We've got 2 pieces of ice. We've got an ash for later. This seems pretty good, right? We definitely do not want the gatekeeper for HQ. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to put a hog in on HQ. We won't pay. And then we'll have a mystery card. Now the gatekeeper is only really going to be valuable here, likely against on the remote, because on the remote it can only be like interacted with like meaningfully once. It's basically dead on the central because they're going to be on Amakua. So after the first encounter, it doesn't really do anything. So let's put this in a new remote. Let's pay. Let's put that on it as well, and then let's put Rashida in there. Butter, I need you to stop rubbing your hair and your static against my computer. Lay down. Alright, let's draw up with Rashida. So I don't know how valuable scarcity is going to be in this matchup. But certainly, we're going to get, unfortunately, we're going to get this Fairchild on here. And then, yeah, I guess we'll get the scarcity down, right? We'll kind of go from there. The biggest thing is we need to purge very soon. Balder, stop, please. Please just lay down on your blanket, okay? Come here. But, like, I need you to relax. I've been paying attention to you since we got home from our trip. You're acting like you're some lonely, tortured cat. Hope they don't immediately clear that current. So we don't have enough money to res everything, which is a problem. I'm kind of hoping... Well, they know it's on HQ, so unless they forget, we're probably not gonna get them. No, Balder, stop! So let's purge. Oh, this is ideal. Let's do the brain damage. We can afford to give them one more counter here. This is a little dicey as far as openers go. We're much closer than I would like. But I have to feel like the scarcity is slowing them down. A whole turn for a single virus counter? I'll take it. I want to get more ice on R&D because I want to make the cider adaptive barrier a little stronger. I'd like to get something like an architect in front of it. Let's get rid of these. These can't hang around. And then let's put that on R&D. We'll say yes for now. We're gonna have to kind of claw our money back here. We're not in the best shape money-wise. I mean, okay. You're gonna get $3 here. So we're in a bad money situation that we desperately need to get out of. Because we're just kind of like poverty stricken here. We need to get our ice rezzed so we can finally lock out. So we'll get the 2 credits, which will get us up to Hagen range. Which means we're going to kill their breaker here. Now we don't even have to purge, so isn't that fortunate? So we've somewhat stabilized here, even though they did get the agenda. Because they don't have a good credit total. They don't currently have a breaker down, so that's very good. We can start building out the remote. And it's going to be very hard for them to get their crowdfundings back. And they have the brain damage. Right. Let's get this ash in there. We'll say no, because we don't care. So Corroder is down. So it's a lot of money for you. They're doing a pretty good job of holding us down money-wise, but that is 2 Diversion of funds gone. That use of falsified's kind of a waste because there's no Amakua down. Okay, no, we want that side adaptive barrier for the remote. Let's get a credit. Let's advance this again. Let's get out of money hell by playing this IPO. Because we were in kind of rough shape. So I want to get this other surveyor on HQ to kind of batten down the hatches there. Josiah, are you still here? Or did I lose you? Alright, so let's put this on HQ. Let's put this on server 1. And then let's get money. So I'm guessing that they're probably going to be on Amina. They could be on Angolo if they are. Angolo is certainly better for us because it's more expensive for them to use. I'd like to draw an agenda soon here before they kind of fully repair themselves. So they're spending, I think, 6 to cost us 5. So the optics on that is not super good for them. We still have this gatekeeper here. We can score this, we can go tempo positive by 2 credits. And that'll also be our future 7th point, right? All the diversions of funds are gone now, which is very good for us. Their money is very muddy. They don't have the ability to get their crowdfundings back easily. We just need big money to be able to res all of the ice on the remote, right? And these exploratory runs for them are pretty expensive. because I think it's 6 for a single access, which at the money level they're at is not trivial, especially since there's nothing for them to steal in here. I think worst case scenario is they hit the violet level here. They're thinking about trashing it because they know that if we get that down on the remote, it's going to be super duper bad for them. So let's go ahead and put this in server 1. We're going to say no thanks. Let's put Surveyor on R&D, or on server 1. Let's put Fairchild 3 on R&D. And continue on with our lives. Getting things ready. Now these corporate grants, we gotta be wary because they are gonna whittle away at our money over time. So we gotta be on top of what we're doing here. We just need more money, right? Now this Cider Adaptive Barrier is now at a base strength of 6, which is really good against somebody who's not going to be using David. And we can keep piling stuff on R&D to make this Cider even better, so that it makes the server more defensible, even without us resing additional ice, right? So here's my biggest issue, right? Do we put this in and start slow rolling it and just take credits, or do we keep it in our hands? I think it's safest in our hands right now, but I could definitely be wrong about that, right? I think maybe probably the best bet here is to put this Architect on HQ just to boost up Surveyor. Put this in the remote, see what they do about it, and then gain a credit. We're just kind of in a tough spot, right? Money-wise, we can't get significantly ahead on money. So this is perfect. We'll pay. How many falsifieds have been used? We'll take the risk that they'll play the last falsified on it, if they have it. But we'll see if we can bluff them into that. Looking at the spread here, I don't know exactly what they're doing. I think Ngolo's probably their decoder, but I've been wrong in the past, right? I was wrong. It is, of course, Amina. That's a big honkin' install, though. Okay, so here what we're gonna do is do that. Res and immediately use the border control. We'll res this to force them to deal with it. Yep, no money. So they got no money left. All right, so now we can just slow roll because they have no money. They have no cash. They just kind of broke themselves. Surveyor is a hell of a card, my friends. Yeah, because now these surveyors loom super duper large, because even if they get through, they still have to fight the ash that's in the bottom of the server, and have a click, and have 2 credits to be able to steal it. We'll take the 2 credits. Put that on server 1 just to boost. We will not pay. And then we're going to advance, advance, advance. Score, get 2 credits. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for our opponent, they're just somewhat run out of steam pretty early on. Now, R&D is more vulnerable than I would like, but that will change. All right, come on in. This is all good money that's being spent here. So So this one's going to cost them effectively 5 after the Bugalter refund. Now then, this is just going to be 3. So 8 credits for a single access. They're probably going to trash that. They don't want us to have it. We're not going to pay. We'll put 1 border control on R&D. We'll put 1 border control on the server 1. Put that in server 1. We'll say you can come get it if you want. Because now this, these 2 alone are 6 credits apiece, the 2 cider adaptive barriers. So that's the last falsified. So they earn that. We'll res it. And right now our code gates, we're just basically using them as strength buffers, right? This is very good for us. There's nothing in our hand for them to be able to steal. So this is again 8 credits that are being thrown away. Very good for us. Especially when their access to capital is very limited right now. We have 8 left, so that does mean that's what's left of our deck is extremely stacked. So we need to be wary of that. So let's advance, and then everything else needs to go in the bin. And we need to just trust our deck not to give us up. I think we can probably keep our opponent out just with the border control and the surveyor here. Now there could potentially be another stim hack in the mix. Okay. Guess they just wanted it to be over. Good game. And we had kind of a rocky opening, and we just kind of piloted our way to a nice balance, and, you know, we did our thing. We did our thing, didn't we, Border? Yes, we did. We're 3-0 on the purple deck, which is pretty good. That purple drank, Boulder. The purple drank. Ooh, this is probably that new Alice deck. I like this hand because we have real ice and Ginger Grid. So let's give him the old GLHF. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hedge fund. We're going to put Cider Adaptive Barrier on Archives, and then we're going to put this in a new remote. What a permachine. Ow, Boulder. Ah. So I'd like to get the other Ginger City grid on R&D. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put this on HQ. We're going to put this on R&D. We're going to res it, and then we're going to hit the Violet level. We're going to put the other one on R&D here. As far as discards are concerned, probably this Hyperloop extension can go into the bin for now. Next turn, we're going to do an Ash in the remote, the Surveyor into the remote, and the Scarcity to slow him down a little bit. A big 50 card deck, they have to find their stuff, right? Baldur, I'm trying to get you in the frame here so your adoring public can see you. So this is a crowdfunding deck, which I think we already knew. Are we about to get APOC? That'd be weird. That feels pretty good. I like how much money is being spent here by our opponent on what is largely an unproductive turn. We'll ditch the scarcity of resources because it hardly matters now. And then we can put the SSL in the remote. So we're gonna res this, gain 8, put that on R&D, put that on HQ, and put that in the remote. Well, they're still pretty broke. Because this is a pretty good, like, tableau here that we've got. Very expensive for our opponent. So they do have the ability to break barriers now, albeit expensively. So let's go ahead and try to push. While we can. And luckily we have secondary ice now. So I'm hoping that what we can manage here is that even though they're pretty well set up, they're just not going to be able to deal with this remote, and we can just basically jam every single thing that we draw right into it, and they're just not going to be able to go through it multiple times. And as long as we keep agendas out of our hand, Maw shouldn't be super duper impactful. Yeah, we're just gonna keep jamming. And that's gonna be how we're gonna win this game. Okay, so Stargate is coming in hot. I think it's worth it to put this on R&D. Put that on R&D as well. So that we could kind of armor up for this Stargate that they desperately want to use, right? Out here working hard. Am I going to end up settling on a purple deck for regionals for the first time in like 3 years? Maybe. We'll see. Really appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do that is by subscribing on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free to you. You can do it free very easily by clicking that little subscribe button up above. If you want to support in other ways, there's a great link in the show notes on YouTube that you can use to do that. Anything that you can give that will help the channel is greatly appreciated. Now we're in kind of that weird tenuous space money-wise, so we need to be careful. Probably gonna go for the trash here, or maybe not. They might go for the Maw trigger instead. Put that on HQ. Let's advance this once. Let's get a credit. I don't want them hippoing away my Fairchild 3. We need that to remain muddy, right? A turtle? Turtle's not ideal. Yeah, let's just go ahead and put that SSL over there. And then I guess we're just going to try to be scoring out entirely on SSLs today. Nice little 7 strength barrier for you. And a nice little 10 strength sentry for you. Hey, we didn't even have to use border control on that one. Not using Stargate. So that steal of that domestic sleepers actually makes it easier for us to win now. So now we're going to drip off of SSL. We're going to hedge fund, and then we're going to advance SSL endorsement twice, which will give us the ability to res ice at least enough to make this muddy. I think our best choices here are the Gatekeeper and the Hagen. Right, basically, as long as they don't steal 2 5/3s in one turn, we will win this game. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here, right? But, you know, anything can happen, so we got to be careful here. All right, I'm pretty sure that's game. They didn't hit an agenda on that run, so that's game. Because they cannot get in here. And even if they stim hack in and we have to res the Ash, we're still going to drip enough to finish this SSL. So we're going to win off of 3 SSLs here. And we won off of 3 SSLs. Oh, let's go play against Russell. Bring it, get it to the limit. Oh, he must be waiting for somebody or away from his computer. Oh, they're so sweet. Alright, so what do we think? How do we feel about it? I'm feeling pretty good about it. I definitely like having the 3-sider adaptive barriers. It's really taxing for a lot of people. Do we need more ice? I don't think we need more ice. 17 seems like a good number, right? The only thing I could see potentially adding would be like another gatekeeper. We 3 ash is the right number, 3 ginger is the right number. We're pretty lean on money, so we can't really mess with the money package, I don't think. Come on. Somebody join the game. Oh, I'm sorry, did I scare you, Balder? Oh, I'm really excited. So, my copy of Tales from the Loop arrived yesterday. So that's very, very exciting to me. Tales from the Loop being the next in the series by Free League. Or Things from the Flood, which is the next in the series of Tales from the Loop, where you're playing teenagers instead of like Stranger Things aged children. In a like horror setting where there's a bunch of experiments and things that have been left behind in an area after like a top secret government facility gets shut down. So it's this really cool kind of like non sequitur system where you can tell like horror and mystery stories. Yeah, and I also got Monster Hearts on the way, which is very exciting. Balder, what a sweet babe you are. I know you missed me so much. Goodness. Goodness. See, this is fine. The sitting on my lap is fine. It's the playing with the wires that's the not fine. I don't know why you do so much work to get my attention, where if you just, like, sat on my lap, I would give you all of the attention. Yeah, see, where everybody wins. So I'm definitely... Okay, this is getting out of hand. I'm definitely very much so firmly in one camp for my runner, and it's to play Apocalypse Crim. So, this seems great. We'll keep it. Especially with them mulliganing. How was everybody else's weekends? I took a long weekend visiting an old friends of ours down in Virginia. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the thing. Alright, so I'm gonna get rid of the eater here because I'm hoping to get a better piece of bypass tech. Alright, so let's drop this. Let's go into R&D, see if we can get some free scores while the scoring's good. You gotta at least try to get some counters on Amakua before everything is completely armored up. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to fight things like Asteroid Belt and Nebula and Firewall, which, you know, our opponent is 100% playing, right? Alright, so the worst case scenario on here is likely a 6 strength ice, right? Because Asteroid Belt is 6 strength. So if we run R&D twice, we should be able to go get this. Okay, we'll take the Kronos project. We'll leave that, as unfortunate as that is, because we need the counters. And then let's go into server 1. Or I guess worst case scenario is that this is a Whoredom. It's not, thankfully. Because we have to remember that SSL decks also frequently run Whoredom, which is what we would colloquially call very bad for us. Now the neat thing is if that Rashida goes in there, we can falsify it for some money using Unsure Gamble. But they're wise to our nonsense. So let's go into R&D. We'll trash that. Let's go into R&D again. Falsifieds are pretty bad against SSL. Or we could just win. That seems good. Good game, well played. Let's go back to Corp side. Today I'm going to take my daughter to the park since it's for the first day ever in like 6 days. It's not pouring. It's just been like a nightmarishly moist. Do we even have any downfall cards in this deck? Oh no, we have one downfall card. We have 2 copies of your robot friend and mine. Hagen is in this deck. That's our only new card. But I don't think the deck really supports any other ones, right? A lot of the other HB cards in this set are leaning very heavily into Mirror Morph, right? Okay, Boulder, should I play HB or should I play Jinteki, huh? What do you think? Should I play a PE deck and be a huge hypocrite? What do you think? Okay. Okay, well, I'm not dealing with the troll, so... Do we need to just talk about the deck for a minute while JNet calms down? Let me see if there's anything in the JNet dev notes. Do we have like a crash? Let me see if I can join other people's games. Actually, no, that's not really fair. I can't do that because they don't know that there's a camera on them. What are we gonna do? Let's join Boris's game. Yeah, go to sleep. Well, these aren't... This isn't ideal. Let's res that. Just so they can't unsure gamble off of it, right? Oh, nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and advance that. Let's put one surveyor. We'll pay. And we'll put a Hagen in front of it. And we'll leave this down until we need to. Yeah, so as is the case in basically every single matchup now, we need to be prepared to let's draw. Let's get some money. Let's put Surveyor out in a new remote. We need to get ready to lock it down, right? So best case scenario here would be the domestic sleepers being hit. Let's draw. Let's put that in server 2. Let's pay. And let's put this on HQ for now. So our biggest issue here is if we can't get... Okay, so perfect. So let's put this on archives. We won't pay. Let's put that in server 2. Let's just get a credit. We need to get a purge through to be able to stabilize, right? Okay, you can have all that. That's all yours. Getting rid of that legwork's very good. So, Boris's money situation's super bad, but ours isn't great either, right? And they can't even afford to trash this ash, which is good. So here, I think we res this one. We really need to get a purge. Purge is going to be pretty mission critical here. Oh, we can't really get there. We're just having such a hard time turning the engine of our deck over. So what is our path to power here? If we can't get up to enough money to res Fairchild, there's no point in purging. Like, we need an IPO or a hedge fund to show up so we can actually get out of here. At least our one saving grace here is that Boris also doesn't really have any money, right? This Ash has been saving our bacon though, so that's been pretty nice. We got to get it res. We got to chew up his money. My cat's getting sick in the corner. Alright. We just need enough money to res one piece of ice on the remote. And then we can purge. Butter, don't try to bury it. I think we can still stabilize here. We just need him to not win this turn. Because now we can start to stabilize money-wise. We still have no points on the board, though, which is a very serious problem. We're probably going to need that Fairchild on HQ, but we're going to need to be able to res it for it to mean anything. Or even maybe just the border. Do we already have a border control on the remote? No. So let's put this on HQ. We'll pay. Let's put this in the remote. And then let's gain a credit. Nope, but... Okay, so now we have a border control for the remote. So I think now we are obligated to try to jam. Alright, there's one card that allows them to win here. Excuse me. Good game, well played. Alright, I have to clean this up, so I guess that's just about gonna do it for today, and I will catch you all next time.